What's up, guys? Chris here again. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the differences between the two different types of WE Apache MP5 magazines. And this is just regarding the long magazines. So as you may know, there are two different versions. One is called the open front magazine and the other is the closed front magazine. And obviously what that's referring to is the channel of BBs being visible in this model and the not being visible in this one. So that's the main visual difference. The other big difference here is that they have different BB capacities. The closed front version holds 28 BBs and the open front magazine holds 48 BBs. That's fully loaded with basically no play in the spring. So what I like to do when I load my magazines is that I always subtract 2 BBs to allow the spring to have a little bit of play in it. Since if you're loading this with a closed chamber where the muzzle is in the forward position, if you put the magazine in with the full load of BBs and there's no play in the magazine, you can actually damage the muzzle by pushing the magazine in. So in that case, this would be the close front would be 27 BBs and the open front would be 46 BBs. So that's a pretty big difference in terms of capacity. The other thing that I noticed, if you recall from my unboxing video of the MP5 I got, I made a comment about how heavy the open front magazine is. And at the time that I did the video, I said it was maybe like 2 or 3 times as heavy as the closed front. It's actually about, let's see, I got the numbers right here. The closed front magazine weighs 340 grams unloaded. And the open front magazine weighs 573 grams unloaded. So that's a pretty significant difference. So I did a little bit of math here, and you get 1.7 closed front magazines to the weight of 1 open front. So you could round it up to 2 closed front magazines for 1 open front magazine, basically. So let's talk about why there's such a big difference in weight in these two. And just looking at this, I'm not sure if you can tell on camera, but basically the open front magazine is just a solid cast magazine chamber, whereas the closed front, I'm sorry if you get the names mixed up, guys, it's a little bit difficult, so whatever I'm holding is what I'm talking about, and I'll try to correct myself in post if I make any mistakes. But this closed front magazine has actually an outer shell made of aluminum. Let me take it apart real quick so I can show you. Actually, you know what? I have a photo of this that I'm going to overlay when I'm talking about this. But basically, the open front magazine is just cast one piece, and it's probably, you know, like the standard zinc alloy kind of deal that they use in Asia. And the closed front version, like I said, has a outer shell of aluminum, and inside it actually has 3 compartments that are screwed together. So initially I thought that the closed front magazine would be better than the open front because there's more mass. You're probably going to get more cool down with the more solid piece of metal here. I'm not too good with that kind of physics, so to test it, I actually just loaded them up with gas, filled them up with BBs, and calculated or counted how many BBs I could fire. So when filling up the gas, I used ASG Ultra Air Power Gas, I believe it's called. It's rated at about 120 to 130 psi. The room temperature was 23 degrees Celsius, 22% humidity, and I used 0.2 gram BBs. So the close front magazine, let's take a look at my cheat sheet here, was able to fire 56 BBs in total. And I kind of counted, the last couple of shots that were sort of weaker. I counted those out separately, so there were 6 of those. So basically 50 full-powered shots from this one. So 28 times 2 is 48, and then 2 extra in there. So you get 2 what's it called? Jesus Christ. 2 full magazines worth of BBs on 1 gas fill for the close front. For the open front, I managed to shoot 129 BBs with 1 gas fill. And there were about 10 weak shots at the end from this one. So that's 119 full-powered shots. So that's 2.5 full loads of BBs per one fill of gas. So if you do a little bit of math, I actually didn't calculate this, but you got 119 here and 50 here. So that's more than twice the amount of BBs coming out of this one for 1 gas fill compared to this one. So you're going to have to weigh that kind of against the difference in weight of these two. There's also another thing that I noticed when I tested these. I chronographed 20 shots from each magazine. This was done a couple of days after the test firing. So the max were at room temperature. And same again, ultra air power gas, 0.2 gram BBs, room temperature 23 Celsius, and humidity 22%. Excuse me. So when testing the FPS, the close front magazine averaged out at 306 FPS. I'm going to put the complete numbers on screen so you can see the actual difference here. Whereas the open front magazine did an average of 404 FPS. So between the two, you have about 40 FPS more in the open front magazine compared to the close front. So that's a bit of an interesting fact to know. I'm not sure if, it's just my particular magazine that I tested. I only have 1 of these. I do have 3 of these, but I only tested 1, because, well, that's just what I did. So my initial thoughts on why you get that kind of a difference is most likely due to how these seat inside of the magazine well. You can see here that the cutouts and shape for where it locks into the magazine well are a little bit different. So I'm thinking that this gets pushed just a little bit higher up into the nozzle, causing a better seal with the gas route rubber compared to the open front. Oh, I'm sorry, the close front. That's just a theory. So that might not be consistent for, if you have 2 of these, you might not get the same results. But that's what I found when testing my magazine. So that's a bit interesting. So my personal preference is the close front magazine because it looks better, more realistic. You don't have to look at the BBs at the front. And in hindsight, after comparing them, the weight as well. So if we look at the numbers again, you can get, well, this was about 119 BBs for 1 gas fill, but let's just do it a little bit simpler for us and say 100 shots compared to 50. So that's a 2-to-1 ratio. However, you can almost carry 2 of these magazines for every 1 of these. Now, I'm rounding off the mat in favor of the close front magazine just because, well, I'm lazy. But, so you're going to have to make a decision here if you want more BB capacity and carrying slightly more weight per magazine, or if you want less weight with a lower BB capacity. So basically your choice is carrying more of these for the same amount of weight as this. In my opinion, like I said, it's a no-brainer for me because I was set on the close front magazine anyway. But in case you've been wondering, that is the differences that I have found for these two magazines. So if you're looking around and you're not sure what to select, that should probably help you figure out what you want to do. But yeah, I mean, just holding one of these, it's significant. But then again, you know, you get 48 shots out of this for one BB fill and 28 out of this. So you would have to reload this one extra time to match the single load of BBs in this one. So it's a bit of plus and minus on both ends. But yeah, there you guys have it. That's it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time.